Hello friends, today we will talk about Van 't Hoff factor, which is the last topic of class 12th chemistry solution chapter, and this is the most important part from this chapter. So the very first thing, why we need to study Van 't Hoff factor? What is the significance of this? So the very first thing is Van 't Hoff factor arises because of abnormal molar mass. Abnormal molar mass, that means molar mass of electrolytes, it changes. So if I take what first very thing, the very first thing is what are electrolytes. So electrolytes, like we all have read in equilibrium chapter class 11th, electrolytes are the substance which get either dissociate or associate or associate when they are dissolved in any solvent. So like if I take the example of NaCl. So NaCl, when it is dissolved, so it will have Na plus and Cl minus ion. So why there is an abnormal molar mass? Because molar mass of NaCl is 58.5. So whatever experiments we are doing, we will take calculation as 58.5. But NaCl, when it is dissolved in water, it dissociates into Na plus and Cl minus. And what is the mass of NaCl? Na plus, it is 23. Sodium atom. Chlorine, it is 35.5. And in the from the previous lecture, we know that colligative property, it varies inversely with the molecular mass. So in one case, in calculation, we will take molar mass as this one. But the nature of colligative property will depend upon these two particles, and these two particles have different masses, 23 and 35.5. That is why it is called abnormal molar mass, and hence there is a variation from the calculated data and experimental data. So whenever we study about solutions of electrolytes, so there is a distinction between experimental value and observed value. So experiment versus reality. What experiment versus calculation? So experiment is what? Experiment is reality, whatever we are doing. Calculation is just theoretical. So there is a difference in reality and calculated value, and that is why we need to study this Van 't Hoff factor. So abnormal molar mass is obtained when a solute in solution undergoes dissociation like NaCl, KCl, or association like acetic acid, or acetic acid and benzene, or even benzoic acid. So these two or these types of compound, they undergo association. So because of this association and dissociation, their molar mass changes, and because we know that colligative property, they are inversely proportional, they varies inversely with molecular mass. So their colligative property, the value of colligative property also changes accordingly. Okay, so dissociation increases the number of particles, hence increases the value of colligative property. So just write, just like I have taken this value NaCl, so it forms Na plus and Cl minus. So what is I? It is normal molar mass of the solute and divided by normal molar mass divided by whatever is observed molar mass. So observed molar mass. So if I take the normal molar mass is 58.5, that we all know. But observed would be either from this particle or from this particle. Suppose I take the first one, so this will be 23. Or even if you take the second one, it will be 35.5. So when you divide 35.5 by 58.5, it is always greater than 1. That is why we say for dissociation, the value of I is always greater than 1. Similarly, if I take any other example like acetic acid, so CS3, COOH, so these two molecules, when they are put together, so they undergo association. Like if I can associate these two molecules like CS3, CO, and then OH. This is one acetic acid molecule, and another acetic acid molecule would be this one. So again, I can write it in this way: CO and CS3. Cancel this one. So there is a hydrogen bonding between these two and hydrogen bonding between these two. So these two molecules are getting associated. So whatever the molar mass of acetic acid, suppose it is X, So because two molecules are getting associated, so its molecular mass will be x by, not x by 2, it will be 2x. It means 2 times, because two molecules are getting associated. So if I roughly take, just take it at 60 molar mass, so this will be what? 120. So now if I know, we know that it is, normal molar mass versus observed molar mass. So normal molar mass, if it is 60, observed would be 120, so it is always less than 1. So that is why we say for association, it is always less than 1. So we will discuss all these things in detail, one by one. Dissociation increases the number of particles and hence increases the value of colligative property and decreases the molecular mass. This is what we have discussed. Association decreases the number of particles because two or more, molecules get associated, and the moment they get associated, there is an increase in molecular mass. So this is what we have discussed: association and dissociation. So this is the case of dissociation. So remember that I is always greater than 1 for dissociation and I is always less than 1 for association. Okay, so these are the formulas that you should know. I is normal molar mass divided by observed molar mass, and it is observed colligative property, ratio of observed colligative property versus divided by calculated value of colligative property. So observe, this is what we call real. This is what we do in experiment, and calculated means it is theoretical. Whatever we calculate in theory using formulas and calculation based. And third formula is I is total number of moles of particles after association or dissociation divided by total number of particles before association or dissociation. Okay, so this criteria is very important. For association, it is less than 1. For dissociation, it is greater than 1. If it is I is equals to 1, that means there is neither association nor dissociation. One more thing that I should, make you understand, that you should use this formula everywhere. Suppose if I am writing for osmotic pressure, so what we have studied, pi is equals to either CRT or MRT. So always remember is this way, ICRT, and use this formula only. Don't remember pi is equals to CRT. Always put I, because what we observe in exam, a lot of the students, they forget to mention the value of I. So this should not be the case. Remember this formula as it is. Pi is equals to ICRT. And one more thing that you can observe, in NCRT or any other book, before the introduction of Van 't Hoff factor, all the numericals, all the questions that we have, so these solutes are either ammonia or urea, NH2CO, NH2, or we have glucose, C6H12O6, or we have sucrose, C12H22O11, or we have ascorbic acid, like these organic compounds. Why? Because there is no association or dissociation. That means for them, value of I is always 1. But the moment NCRT or CBSE introduces Van 't Hoff factor, so after Van 't Hoff factor, the nature of solute changes. So we have NaCl, we have KCl, we have CaCl2, and then we have acetic acid, because now these are electrolytes. So this thing you should notice, and always remember the formula this way, because for them value of I is 1, so there is no problem, put the value of I is equals to 1. But if this is the case, don't forget to mention the value of I. Otherwise, you will hardly get 1 or half marks out of 3-mark question. So then we have modified form of colligative property. So whatever colligative property we have studied, just put I in front of everyone. So we have read EB is equals to KB into M. So write I into KB into M, I into KF into M, or phi is equals to ICRT. So whatever colligative properties are there, just put I in front of that, and that is your modified form of colligative property. And I would recommend you remember this way only. Always use this formula and put the value of I if electrolyte is of this type, like we have NH3, urea, glucose, sucrose, or any other organic compound. Okay, so now this part is very important. the relation between alpha, that is degree of dissociation, and the Van 't Hoff factor I. So the although you need to remember this formula only for dissociation, alpha is equals to I minus 1 upon n minus 1. No one is going to ask the derivation. You just need to remember this form. One more thing, Ka is equilibrium constant and there is a relation between Ka and alpha. So you should also remember this expression that alpha is equals to under root Ka by C. This derivation is there in class 11th equilibrium chapter. And there are questions in class 12th also. So these two are the relations that you need to know. But if I have to derive these, these relations one by one, so let us quickly go through it. So if I write degree of dissociation, everything is from class 11th equilibrium only. So degree of dissociation alpha. So for first, if I take the very simplest example, NaCl. So NaCl dissociates into Na plus and Cl minus. Okay. So initially, if T is equals to 0, that means reaction is not started yet. At that moment, the concentration of NaCl is 100%, that is 1. So at that moment, Na and Cl is 0, 0 at equilibrium. So at T is equals to T or T is equals to T equilibrium. So if I take that from out of 1 mole, alpha moles are dissociated. So from this equation, see, 1 mole of NaCl is giving what? 1 mole of Na and 1 mole of Cl. So if 1 mole is giving 1 mole, so alpha mole will give what? Alpha moles, simple. So we will have alpha alpha. Now, if I have to write the I, what is I? I is Van 't Hoff factor. So it is the number of particles after association or dissociation divided by number of particles before association dissociation. So this is the scenario after association dissociation. So these are the total particles. So I can write 1 minus alpha plus alpha plus alpha. These two alpha and 1 minus alpha, this one. Divided by total number of particles before association. So it is only 1 because these are 0, 0. So simply minus alpha and plus alpha cancels out. So it is what? 1 plus alpha. That's it. Okay. So generally we take alpha is equals to 1, which is degree of dissociation 100% for a strong electrolyte like NaCl, KCl, like these compounds. So if I assume alpha to be 1, so what will be the value of I? I is 1 plus alpha. So 1 plus 1 is 2. That is why we take the value of Van 't Hoff factor I is equals to 2 for NaCl because number of particles after dissociation are 2. Similarly, I can take one more example of any other AX2 type salt. So if I take MgCl2, so MgCl2 will break into Mg2 plus 2Cl minus. So again, I'm not writing everything again. So at that, if it is T is equals to 0, at that moment, the concentration of MgCl2 is 1 and it is 0, 0. At T is equals to equilibrium. So I can write again 1 minus alpha because alpha moles are getting dissociated. So now you can see 1 mole of MgCl2 is giving 1 mole of Mg2 plus but 2 moles of Cl minus. So you will write alpha and then 2 alpha. Again, write the expression for I. So number of particles after dissociation 1 minus alpha plus 2 alpha divided by 1. So it would be 1 plus 2 alpha. So again, if you take alpha is equals to 1, so what will be the result? 1 plus 2 into 2, that is 3. So that is why the value of I is 3 for these types of salt because 1 Mg and 2 Cl minus. Similarly, and what you can observe that I is 2, I is 3. That means what? It is always greater than 1 for dissociation. Similarly, you can write this is the question for you. Write, calculate the value of I for any salt of the type A2B3 type. Like if I can write aluminium sulfate. So Al2SO4 thrice. So A2B3. So for this, I think the expression for I would be 3 plus 2, 5. So it will be 1 plus 4 alpha. So you can calculate. So this would come out to be 1 plus 4 alpha, and when you take alpha means degree of dissociation to be 100%, then alpha is equals to 1. So I should come out to be 5 because it is always greater than 1. So in this way we can calculate, I for everything. But again, what is important that this means calculation of I and relation between I and alpha is very important. So if I have to write a relation between I and alpha, I and alpha for dissociation. Okay, so this relation is very important, although no one is going to ask derivation, but you should know from where this expression is coming from. So if I take any electrolyte of the type AX or AN would be better. So AN, any salt of this type, it dissociates. Now since it is having AN, suppose if I take example of S8, so S8 is sulfur molecule. Now just imagine this molecule dissociates and it forms 8 different sulfur atoms. That's what I'm writing. So AN will dissociate to form what? Na. That means all these atoms are now dissociated into a single entity. Okay. Again, if I can write at T is equals to 0, I can write the concentration of A would be 1. At that moment, it is 0. At equilibrium, what I can write? It is 1 minus alpha. Alpha moles are getting dissociated. Now see, 1 mole of this salt or electrolyte is giving what? N mole of this particular compound. So if alpha is getting dissociated, so it will give N alpha, because 1 is giving N, so alpha will give N alpha. Simple. Now write expression for I. So I would be 1 minus alpha plus N alpha. N alpha divided by 1. So if I rearrange it, so I would be, I can write I as alpha, take alpha common, so I can write alpha n minus 1 plus 1, alpha n minus 1 plus 1 divided by 1. I have taken alpha common. So now I can rearrange it with respect to alpha. So alpha would be, or I can directly write for alpha, but before this I can write one more expression to simplify it. Alpha into n minus 1. Alpha into n minus 1. This would be what? I minus 1. Sorry, I minus 1. So from where I can write alpha is equals to I minus 1 upon n minus 1. And that is the relation you need to know. This is the relation between alpha and I for dissociation. So even if you don't know the derivation, but you need to know this formula. This is very important. And so many questions are asked based on this question, based on this formula. So that's what relation we have. I is equals to alpha is equals to I minus 1 upon n minus 1, and this is the relation between alpha and equilibrium constant. Okay. Similarly, we can calculate alpha, degree of dissociation, degree of association, and relation between alpha. So this is the final, outcome. Alpha is equals to I minus 1. In dissociation, we have n minus 1, but in association, we have 1 upon n minus 1. That is the only difference. Okay. So again, let us quickly go through this, how to solve, how to arrive at this conclusion. So first I will take very simple example of acetic acid. So now we are discussing association and alpha and I relation. So if I talk about association, I can take a simplest example of acetic acid, CH3COOH. So 2 moles are getting associated, and they are becoming CH3COOH whole twice. Like the way we have shown hydrogen bonding, I can rewrite it CH3 and then COOH, and the second molecule would be like this. So CH3. So there is a hydrogen bonding between these two. So these two are getting associated. Okay. So again, if I write the value of I can write number of particles after association or dissociation. So after divided by before association dissociation. Number of particles after dissociation, it is only one because it is one entity. And number of particles before association, it is two. So it is 1 by 2. So you can directly write alpha is 1 by 2. That is alpha is I is less than 1. So it is always less than 1 for association cases. Similarly, if you have to write any type of association where 3x is getting associated to form x3, so for this I would come out to be 1 by 3. Similarly, you can write for JEE or NEET questions. So if 4a is getting associated, it is forming a4. For this, value of I would be 1 by 4. That's it. Directly you can write. Okay, so now let us derive the very important relation, degree of association and I for association. Again, I will take any electrolyte of the type Na, and it is getting associated and forming An. So at T is equals to 0, the concentration of this, I will take it as 1. At that moment it is 0. So at T equilibrium, what will happen? Alpha moles are getting associated. Okay, so now here is the most important part, I would say. So n mole n mole is giving what? 1 mole. So n mole is giving 1 mole. So alpha mole will give alpha by n moles. This is very important part. N moles are giving 1 mole. So alpha mole will give alpha by n. So directly write the expression for I is number of particles. After association, dissociation, it is 1 minus alpha plus alpha by n divided by before. So before it is only 1. So again, if I rearrange it by taking alpha common, so I can write I minus 1 is equals to alpha 1 minus n minus 1. Okay, then you can write alpha is equals to I minus 1 upon 1 minus n, 1 upon n minus 1. So this is the final relation that we need to know. This is the final result. Again, not to forget, alpha of dissociation is equals to under root Ka by C. This is another important relation. So these two and the previous one for dissociation, these three are the final formulas that we need to know. Okay, so now coming to the question part, because questions are very important from this Van 't Hoff factor. So for barium nitrate BaNO3 whole thrice, the value of Van 't Hoff factor is I is 2.05. So value of I is given. Calculate the extent of degree of dissociation. Okay, so for this is a case of dissociation. So for dissociation, we know that alpha is equals to I minus 1 upon n minus 1. So directly put this formula. I value is given 2.05 minus 1 divided by what is the value of n? So n, it is, since it is barium nitrate BaNO3 whole thrice. So I think the formula here is incorrect. It should be BaNO3 whole twice. Even if it is whatever is the case, Even if it is whole thrice, then the value of I would be 4. If it is 3, then if it is whole twice, then this formula is incorrect. There should be whole twice. So this will dissociate into Ba2 plus 2NO3 minus. So one particle from barium and 2 from nitrates. What is the value of N? N is the number of particles, total particles. So 2 plus 1, N would be 3. So just put this value, so it would be 3 minus 1. So you can write 1.05, because 2.05 minus 1 is 1.05 divided by 2. So roughly you can take it as 1.5. So it would come out to be 0.5 approx. So that is the value of alpha. In this case, that means degree of dissociation is just 0.5. That means it is just 50%. Okay. Next question is, what will happen when to freezing point of potassium iodide aqueous solution when mercuric iodide is added to solution? Very important question. What will happen to freezing point of potassium iodide Ki aqueous solution when mercuric iodide is added? Means Hg(I2) is. So this is a case of very good question of coordination chemistry. So there is a case of association, you can see. So when it gets means when mercuric iodide is added with Ki, so these two part, they are combining to form a single entity. So mercuric iodide forms a complex with potassium iodide. Therefore, number of particles in the solution decreases, and when it decreases, it results in the decrease in the value of delta TF. That means depression in the freezing point. As a result, freezing point of the solution will increase, because there is a depression in the freezing point. So we know that the freezing point depression is delta TF. So delta TF is what? Delta TF is delta TF naught minus, sorry, TF. So as a result, freezing point of the solution will increase. Very good question. And I think this has not been asked till now. Okay, solution is already written. So calculate the mass of non-volatile solute. Molar mass is given, and we have to calculate the mass of the non-volatile solute. That means we have to find what? WB, weight of solute, which should be dissolved in 114 gram octane to reduce its vapor pressure by 80%. So 114 gram octane. Octane, we know that the molecular formula of octane means 8 carbon, and it is 8N, that means CnH2n plus 2. So 18 to the 8 to the 16 plus 2, C18. So when you calculate its molar mass, so it would be 12 into 8, that means 96 plus 8, so it would come out to be 114 U. So molar mass and given mass is same, that means number of moles are 1. So number of moles of this octane is 1. Okay, so you have to reduce the pressure by 80%. So 80% decrease in pressure, 80 into original vapor pressure, P naught divided by 100. So this, this represents decrease in 80%. So this is 0.8 times of P naught. And number of moles we can calculate is WB is, we have to determine WB. That means weight of solute. And what is the molar mass of the solute? Molar mass, it is given 40. So in this way we can calculate number of moles. So from the Raoult's law expression, we know that relative lowering of vapor pressure is equals to mole fraction of the solute. And from, what is the PS? So PS, we have calculated vapor pressure of the solution is what? 80 times of the original pressure. So 80% means 80%, 0.8 times of the original pressure. So this is the expression from this part, 80% data, and mole fraction of B can be written as number of moles of B divided by total moles. So it is WB by 40 and WB by 40 plus 1. Why? Because number of moles are 1 for octane. So when you solve this expression, ultimately you will get weight of solute to be 10 grams. So in this way, you have to approach this question. Oh, again, solution is given, and this question, I think this question is very, very important for 2 uh, 2027 exam, board exam. The freezing point depression of 0.109 molar aqueous solution of formic acid is minus 0.21 degree Celsius. So even in previous lecture, I told you difference is always same. So whether you write 0.21 degree Celsius or you write 0.21 Kelvin, it is same. Difference is same on both scale. So the equilibrium constant for uh, dissociation of formic acid is, you have to calculate the equilibrium constant for dissociation of formic acid. Again, means what I told you, the relation, the Ka upon means under root Ka by C. That relation is very important. So formic acid, it dissociates in this way. HCOO dissociates to form H plus and HCOO minus. So that's what they have taken, So M is the concentration. So 1 minus alpha mole will dissociate. So it will form alpha. So they are writing M alpha. No problem. Total molality of the solution. So total molality of the solution is M 1 plus alpha. So this is the actual molality. Fine. So from there, they have written the expression for the equilibrium constant. So equilibrium constant is what? The concentration of product divided by this concentration of reactant. So concentration of ions of product divided by reactant. So this is C alpha, so C alpha is square, C1 minus alpha. This is the expression from equilibrium chapter 1. So when you solve this, data, so you get the value of equilibrium constant as 7.8 into 10 to the power minus 5 molar. This question I think is very important. Okay, and this question has been asked in CBSE 2014 and 2020. Calculate the mass of ascorbic acid, vitamin C. The common name is vitamin C. Formula is also given: to be dissolved in 75 gram of acetic acid to lower its melting point by 1.5 degrees Celsius. That means delta TB is, melting point. So it is, delta TF is given 1.5 degrees Celsius. Okay. Kf is also given. So Kf is 3.9. From this molecular mass, this formula, we can calculate molecular mass. So when you calculate C6H8O6, so it will come out to be 176. It is written. That is the molar mass of the solute. So just put this entire information in this, formula, and then you will get the mass of the WB. That means the mass of the ascorbic acid or solute to be dissolved. It is 5.08. This question has been asked many times in the board and compartment exams. Next, see 2013, 2017, 2019, 2022. Very important. Determine the osmotic pressure of solution prepared by dissolving 25 milligram of K2SO4. See, what I was talking about is, after the introduction of a Van 't Hoff factor, you will have electrolyte. So potassium sulfate is very strong electrolyte. Similarly, in the previous, you can see vitamin C again. Although it is a organic compounds, there is no involvement of I. So you can write I here. You can write I into Kf and put I is equals to 1. In this case, again, it is a case of electrolyte. Okay, sorry. So determine the osmotic pressure of the solution prepared by dissolving 25 mg of K2SO4 in 2 liter of water, assuming that it is completely dissociated. It is very important. Completely dissociated, that means alpha is what? 1. So when you take alpha as 1, it is completely dissociated, and we are writing for K2SO4. So when you are assuming it to be completely dissociated, that means you are writing 2K plus SO4 2 minus. So when this information is given completely dissociated, that means 2 particles from sodium ion and 1 particle from sulfate. So you can directly write N is equals to 3. That is the purpose of giving this information. assuming it to be completely dissociated. So K2SO4 dissolved is 25 milligram. So first convert it into grams. Volume of solution is 2 liter, temperature is 25 degrees Celsius. So first convert this degree Celsius into Kelvin. So it would be 298 Kelvin. Molar mass calculated, it would be 174. Since K2SO4 dissociates completely, so you can write this equation, and hence you can write the value of I, which is 3, because it is given completely dissociated. Now, when you apply this phi is equals to ICRT formula, you directly get this value. So I would say the most important part here is, this, assuming it to be completely dissociated, and how to decode this information. These are the previous year board questions we are discussing. So 19.5 gram of, fluoroacetic acid is dissolved in 500 gram of water. The depression in freezing point observed is 1 degree Celsius. So this is the depression, delta TF. Calculate the Van 't Hoff factor and dissociation constant for fluoroacetic acid. Okay. And this question, was reframed. Same information, but different wordings. When 19.5 gram of fluoroacetic acid, molar mass 78 gram per mole, is dissolved in 500 gram of water, the depression in freezing point was observed to be 1 degree Celsius. Calculate the degree of dissociation of this. And Kf is given 1.86. So let us solve this. So how can we calculate this Van 't Hoff factor? So we know that there are three formulas. First is based on molar mass. So observed molar mass divided by normal molar mass divided by observed molar mass, then observed colligative property divided by calculated colligative property. Third one is number of particles after dissociation divided by number of particles before association or dissociation. So number of moles of fluoroacetic acid, this has been calculated, given mass and molar mass, so it is 0.25 moles. Molality, so number of moles divided by mass of solvent is given 500 gram, that means 0.5 kg, because molality is mass of solvent in kg. So in this way we have calculated, molality 0.5 mole per kg. Now you can apply this formula, delta TF is equals to I into Kf into M, and from this data you can calculate the value of I, Van 't Hoff factor. So it would come out to be 1.0753. Okay, so although fluoroacetic acid is a strong acid, but since I is just 1.07, so that means there is the dissociation is very less. Okay, so then what you have to calculate, Van 't Hoff factor. So you have calculated I and the dissociation constant. So I think this question would carry minimum 3 marks. Minimum, it could be 5 also, but minimum 3 marks. And now you have to calculate dissociation constant also. So since we know that the value of I is this one, now how to calculate dissociation constant? Now you have to apply class 11th equilibrium logic. So fluoroacetic acid will dissociate into fluoroacetate ion and then H plus. Initial concentration 0.5, so it would be 0. At equilibrium it is 0.5 minus alpha, so 0.5 alpha, 0.5 alpha, no problem. Total moles 0.5 alpha plus 0.5 alpha. So in this way you can calculate I would come out to be 1 plus alpha, or you can write alpha is equals to I minus 1, and I is what, 1.0753. so alpha would come out to be, sorry, this is the value of alpha. So alpha is 0.0753, and the moment you calculate alpha, now we know that this relation under root k by c. So when you apply alpha, then you will get the value of Ka, which is, or you can directly, put this information in this equation. Write the equilibrium constant, so it would be concentration of product divided by concentration of reactant. Then from here also you can write, otherwise if you know this formula, alpha is equals to under root k by c, because c is concentration is given 0.5. From there also you can calculate the value of k, so it would come out to be 3.07 into 10 to the power minus 3. A very important question. Calculate the depression in freezing point of water when 10 gram of this CS3, CS2, CSCl, COOH, chloro 1, 2, 3, 4 butanoic acid, 2 chlorobutanoic acid is added in 250 gram of water. Ka is given, so for this equilibrium constant is given, this is given. Answer would come out to be 0.65 Kelvin. Try to solve this question. Similar question like this, same question. Okay, so now we have several multiple choice questions. So which of the following colligative property is used to calculate molar mass of biomolecules? So I told you biomolecules are, you know, like polymers having a very high molecular mass. So when molecular mass is very high, like protein, starch, cellulose, etc., then the best technique is osmotic pressure. Which of the following statements are statement is false? So which one is false? Unit of atmospheric pressure, correct. In reverse osmosis, solvent moves through semi-permeable membrane from a region of lower, incorrect, because it moves from higher concentration to lower concentration. The values of Van 't Hoff factors for KCl, NaCl, K2SO4 respectively are. So you say KCl, it will dissociate into K plus Cl minus, NaCl will dissociate into Na plus Cl minus, that means 2, 2. But K2SO4, 2K and 1 sulfate, total 3. So 2, 2, 3. I think option B. The value of Van 't Hoff factor for ethanoic acid in benzene. Ethanoic acid in benzene. Ethanoic acid is again a type of acetic acid. It will undergo association. So you can see this is 1, this is 1.5, this is 2. So either I is 1 or greater than 1. This can never be the case for any benzoic acid or any carboxylic acid. So I think the correct option is 0.5, because association, it will undergo association, and for association I is always less than 1. Which of the following aqueous solutions should have highest boiling point? So which one would have highest boiling point? See, NaOH, so Na plus OH minus, 2 particles, Na2SO4, 2 Na and 1 sulfate, total 3. NH4 ammonium nitrate, so 1 ammonium, 1 nitrate. So NH4 plus NO3 minus, so 1, 1, so total 2 ions. KNO3, K plus NO3, so 2, 2, 2. I think this is the only solute with 3 ions, so it will have highest boiling point. In comparison to 0.01 molar solution of glucose, the depression freezing point of a 0.01 mgCl2 would be same, about 3 times mgCl2. So mg plus 2Cl minus, total 3. So I think about 3 times. So let us D, question number 17, D, B, B, C, B, C. Okay, fine. So these are the answers given: D, B, B, C, B, C. I will write the correct mark. So D, then B, then again B, then C, then B, and then 3 times C. These are the correct options. Okay, first, now this passage has been asked from this chapter several times. So spontaneous. So how to solve these passages is, although what I would say, you don't need to read all, the entire passage. Just look at the questions. What do you expect to happen when red blood corpuscles, RBCs, are placed in 0.5% NaCl solution? So this is a case of osmosis. We know that the concentration of, these RBCs is 0.9%. So when they are placed in 0.5% NaCl solution, that means surrounding has less concentration. Inside the cell, the concentration is high. So what will happen? The solvent is very dilute outside, so it will start entering the cell. So ultimately what will happen? Cell will swell and it will burst. Second, which one of the following will have higher osmotic pressure in 1 molar KCl or 1 molar urea? So again, we know that KCl is electrolyte, so it will dissociate into K plus and Cl minus. That means total particles 2. Urea is an organic compound, NH2CONH2, NH2CONH2. So it neither associates nor dissociates. So for this, I is 1. For this, I is 2. So I think this KCl will have higher osmotic pressure. Name one SPM, semi-permeable membrane, which can be used in the process of reverse osmosis. So there are, several membranes are there, animal membranes are there, but the most important one, I would say, something copper acetate like that has been asked in the CBSE board exam once. So it is a coordination chemistry question also. So one cell is there which is based on this copper metal. So that has been asked. What are isotonic solutions? Isotonic solutions are the solutions which have same osmotic pressures. Okay, so answers are also given. So the first one, when the concentration is 0.9, it will swell and may even burst. Second, KCl will have, because it is having 2 times, it will give 2 ions. Third one, cellulose acetate. So that was the, SPM, semi-permeable membrane. Cellulose acetate is placed on a suitable support. Solutions having equal osmotic pressure are called isotonic solutions. So these are the answers. Now what I want you to practice this question, because I think again this question is very, very important for uh, board exam, because CBSE, this type of graphical based question has not been asked in the previous 1 or 2 years. So this time 2027, so you might get a question, based on graph, where you have to interpret the graph. So practice this question. Calculate the molality of a sulfuric acid solution when in which the mole fraction of water is 0.85. So you have to calculate molality. Mole fraction is given. So those who are following this channel, I told you one relation, direct relation between molality and mole fraction. So from there you can solve it. Otherwise you have to convert it. First calculate, mole fraction, then convert it into molality. If you know the direct formula, you can directly apply it. Okay, second question is based on graph. The graphical representation of vapor pressure of two component system as a function of composition is given alongside. This is the graph. So you have to answer these A, B, C, D, E, F, these 5 or 6 questions. So are the AB interactions weaker, stronger, or of the same magnitude? You have to answer this. Name the type of deviation shown by this system. So it is clearly visible, negative deviation. Predict the sign of delta H mixing. So it will be less than 0. It would also be less than 0. And now entropy has not been asked. So I'm adding this question. So suppose you have to find the entropy of mixing. So entropy of mixing is always greater than 0. Always. Either it is negative deviation or positive deviation. Entropy change will always be positive. Give an example of such a system. So since it is negative deviation, you can write any example like HNO3 plus alcohol, or any type of acetone plus chloroform, like that. What type of azeotrope will form from this? This type of system will form what type of azeotrope? Since it is negative, so it will be maximum boiling azeotrope, because you need to boil it to a greater extent. So these are the questions that you have to try to answer these questions.